It's a little bit cold. Yeah, so it is raining. That's snow. It sure does get me back to my Alaskan roots, man. When you want to go down, go down. Pretty steep. I'm sitting pretty at 13,550. Number 30. In the brisk cold of sunrise, I set off solo from the West Willow Creek Trailhead, traveling north, then northeast. I eventually took the rarely traveled West Slopes route, first by descending a steep gully, then by hiking up the steepening Screefield to the summit of San Luis Peak. After an hour break, a new friend Josh and I started down the much easier South Ridge route. In a little more than 2 hours, we were back to Josh's truck, and he took me back to my van down at the lower trailhead. So we're driving in, it's about 6:45 p.m. Sunsets in 30 minutes, just enough time to make up some grub. Good morning, YouTubers. It's Zimba here, and I am getting ready to head up San Luis. It's the bright hour of 6 a.m., making some quick oatmeal, sipping some quick coffee, and heading up. It's a little bit cold. We're just gonna go for it and bring in an emergency bivvy for this objective. I'm by myself, it's cold, and the trail is quite unclear as it's probably the least climb 14er out there. So not taking any chances. Not exactly an alpine start, but it's about 6:45 a.m. and we're just getting moving. And by we, I mean just me. It's Zimba, and that's all it is today. Just as I was saying a little bit before, it's raining a little bit, but nothing too crazy. It's nice sometimes when it peaks, maybe only class 1, class 2, to step up the difficulty just a little bit and do it in the rain or in the cold or something. I found a road. We're making our way to the 4-wheel drive trailhead. Hey, look at this guy. Just so beautiful, hanging out, really majestic, taking in the day with us. What a gorgeous creature. Feel so happy to be a part of nature out here. Whew, that's a nice little steep climb. We're getting into sunlight for the first time. Starting to warm up, thankfully. We're about 12,200 feet. About to be able to see San Luis for the first time. There she is. The other one was the doe. This here is a buck. Looks to be about 4 or 5 years old. Checking me out. What up, YouTubers? Zimba here. It's a little bit cold still in the sun, but it is quite nice moving towards San Luis. We are, I'm taking the western slopes and then the south ridge down. And the western slopes on the way up really never ever get climbed. San Luis hardly gets climbed in and of itself. So we're just boldly descending down into this upper drainage basin and dropping 700 feet and then steeply climbing San Luis there behind me. Whoa. It sure does get me back to my Alaskan roots, man. It is beautiful up here, and there is absolutely no trail other than the one that the deer have left us. You got to be keeping a close eye out there for the deer droppings, right? Those deer droppings and the deer footprints sometimes is all you get. Man, is it beautiful. My feet are soaking wet because we are just in it, guys. You got to love every second. Like I wouldn't exactly call this a trail, you know, but clearly an animal has been here. Clearly we're not the first ones. Look at all that. Anytime you see dry, dead logs like that, that's from hooves stepping in it. Look at all that. So it's all signs of where you got to go, right? Because at the end of the day, mountaineering is pretty simple, right, guys? What's the main principle? when you want to go down, go down. And when you want to go up, you know what I mean? It's that easy. And yeah, wow, pretty extreme, loving it. Yeah, so guys, I want to make this channel as real as possible. So I want to include all of my goods, bads, uglies, mistakes, beauties, all of it. So I'm going to let you in. I was just walking across this thin little creek, nothing too crazy, maybe like 6 feet wide, 4 stones, all soaking wet, really wet shoes. I got the poles, but little twist, little slip, little, and the whole body sort of goes in. Yeah, so these are my Salomon X Ultra 4. But now I'm like, you know, full soaked. Luckily I had a spare change of pants, spare change of socks. Big thing, guys, just don't panic. Just don't panic. If shit happens, really just roll with it. You've got no other choices. Out here, I'm down at the very bottom of a gulch. There's nobody else around. There's nobody else out here. I'm off a trail that nobody ever really takes on a mountain that very few people climb. You get yourself into these situations, you'd better get yourself out. Out of the pot and into the frying pan. We're out of the crazy logs and sticks and gnarly descent. But for this ascent, we're just now at about 12.2 and just getting to the top of tree line. Pretty steep, loose scree most of the way. So it is high noon and I am sitting pretty at 13,550. So about another 500 feet to go. Feeling a bit tired, the feet are cold, a little bit, more just like chapped. Trying to dry them out at every chance I get, switch out socks, and doing what I need to do to stay dry, stay warm. Yeah, loose talus. Just now, first time coming in view of peak. First time feeling like no matter what, got the objective in the bag. Now let's just take it slow and get there. Number 30, heck yeah guys, we're doing it, San Luis. My new friend Josh and I kicking it up on top of San Luis, whatever you want to call it. It's an absolutely gorgeous peak. You might call it a gravel fest, you might call it a trudge, you might call it a trailless path if you go up the western slopes. But Josh's perspective, and I'm starting to believe the same way, this is an absolutely beautiful gem that is sort of a dark horse. Okay, so here's gonna be our descent route, guys. We're gonna take the southern ridge down. Is what we were looking at this morning. Do not be fooled, that is not your peak. When you get to that one, you are now beginning the approach. That's just the beginning. Sweet. We are back to the 4-wheel drive camping. Oh wow, folks, perks of friendships. Josh is hooking it up, hitchhiking a ride back to the minivan. Took me 40 minutes this morning to get from where I parked to where he parked. So this has got to be saving at least 30 minutes on the way down. Feeling super grateful. That western slope is quite the real deal. So we're grateful to be having a ride. We just got a cool moose encounter. Super awesome. It's not the best of footage, but I hope you like what I got for you guys.